I see people with more energy than others. I meet people all the time. I talk to people for a living. So I'm like, damn, like, I wonder if people realize that, they can use their energy before they are having their energy used by somebody else.
That's deep.
A child, they don't necessarily have a say so over the energy. They got parents, they got, somebody always telling them what to do, sit your ass down, come over here,
Stop.
so you catch them and their energy is a lot more pure than anybody else's, which is probably why they want it. But either way, the lady she said that they want to harvest the energy of children to like empower their creativity, to do what it is. And like it's funny because like while I found that video, I also was told about a book about like Orishas and feminine energy and voodoo and all lining up with everything that I'm talking about, because Orishas and voodoo, they use basically things that we use every day. Like say I wanted to make a pot of soup or like a lemonade. They use like day-to-day things to like heal themselves. Okay? And they use those things to like channel energy, from like ancestors or deities, to like heal themselves. So as I'm listening to the energy harvesting from Diddy and reading about the Orishas, and then you also got Beyonce motherfucking ass. She done just made 535 billion
Okay.
million dollars.
I thought you said she was just got something to say too. I was about to say,
No,
damn,
like,
Beyonce too?
Nah, because like, how do you get the attention of everybody to give you their energy?
Facts.
Okay, like this bitch is famous.
Yeah.
This bitch is like probably the most famous person in the motherfucking world type shit.
Yeah.
To have somebody interested in your piece of work that much to that it yields $500 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I've always heard allegedly, everything I'm saying is allegedly. Beyonce don't try to come for me. Diddy don't try to come for me.
Don't do that.
Who else did I mention?
Don't do that.
That was just them two. Don't try to come for me. All I'm saying is allegedly. This is what motherfuckers are saying. I'm here to like just go through and talk about it. So allegedly, like she channels like Oshun, which is like feminine energy. To she's about beauty. She's about like luxury and finance and all those kind of things. Like very much pretty girl type shit. And like as you channel these things, it makes you more creative. So like it's like as I'm listening to all of these things as a collective, like it had me like thinking like, damn, like what the hell is going on? So like I'm gonna play this video because like I don't know if I'm explaining this effectively enough, but like these are some of my thoughts. So like pull up this clip in this audio for me. Is it playing?
Yeah, the video playing. I don't hear the
You
audio.
don't hear the audio?
Yeah, I don't even see it coming in.
You hear it now? Yeah, my phone, the audio's on. I'm saying is, how is it that these
Do you know why we have?
So the basis of what I'm saying is, how is it that these motherfuckers are able to uh, do rituals and use them against them for positive gain for them, and us not be able to do that shit for positive gain for ourselves? I was raised Christian. And in Christianity, they tells us that, communicating with the ancestors is the devil, that crystals is the devil, that voodoo is the devil, that basically anything outside of Christianity is the fucking devil. And when you really think about it, it's like literally the whitest thought that you ever can fucking have, because white people tend to, believe that anything and anybody that ain't white is the fucking devil. That's the way they treat people. They ostracize and oppress everyone outside of their own whiteness to protect and preserve white supremacy, to protect and preserve white patriarchy. And in doing so, black people have asserted this masculine persona in order to survive. Black women have become more masculine, taking and find liberation in their own bodies, and, calling it one thing, but it's really, on the opposite end, causing damage in another way. And the same thing as black men, finding value in white patriarchy, and on the other end is causing damage in another way. As we see these motherfuckers performing rituals and us believing myths in a certain way, like, could it be that everything that we are experiencing in this reality is meant for us to use creatively for our own benefit, in order to see it through in our purposes and allow ourselves to be led by ideas and ancestors and all the things that they have deemed that was evil in the first place? Now, there's a lot of content online, and I'm assuming that everybody has seen a lot of this stuff. So, like, I really don't want to necessarily go through the content and talk about it and teach it, but like, I do want to briefly skim over it in order to make my point. Okay, so if everything began with the Big Bang out of the ether, and everything came from atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, formed into the periodic table of elements. The inhale and exhale of the ether formed this vibration that basically clumped everything together into matter, in which can be perceived. Then the matter itself and the perception of the matter itself is what people use their hands in order to form reality as we know it. Fast forward, and you get a bunch of motherfuckers that don't know any of this. You basically are coming into the doctrine of old people who were more aware than you, not necessarily right, but more aware. And you come under their structure. They give you a name, they give you a purpose of being, and these people are in conflict with each other. So, this is how you get a slave, a master, all these perceptions and pretenses that form these realities for different people and make them insecure. Like, insecurity would, make a person want to control another person and make them a slave. Insecurity will make a person become a slave themselves. So, to whatever. So, when you come into this reality and you take on the state of the generation before you, then this is how you are inhibited or limited in taking your own hands and creating a reality that best suits you and the legacy behind you and going forward for you.
Do you know why we have surnames? And would you believe me if I told you that surnames were a colonial construct invented to uphold patriarchy? You see, a lot of ancient African civilizations were specifically matriarchal, not because they were stupid, but because Africans lived side by side with nature. And what does nature say about lineage? Nature says that lineage is exclusively maternal. It is only through your mother's side that you can track your legacy, because the male mitochondrial DNA that is present in the tail of the sperm does not get inherited or passed on from parents to offspring. We all know when fertilization occurs, when the sperm's head enters the ovum, the tail gets chopped off. Inheriting your father's name is totally and absolutely pointless as far as legacy is concerned. So in real sense and biologically speaking, men have zero say in what a legacy looks like. So I wonder why they want to have a say in abortion.
Okay, so my question to y'all, because both of these motherfuckers, both of my producers and engineers, both work at churches on the side. Okay, they both have their own spiritual walk. So, like, y'all being immersed in the atmosphere of Christianity, like, how do you? My question to y'all is like, how do you feel about the rituals that can be performed? Do you feel like that voodoo is evil? Do you feel like that hoodoo, communicating with the ancestors? Like, how has this shit made you feel? Only to turn around and hear that celebrities have been using and harnessing this energy to their own benefit, to embellish themselves, whether it's financial, or physical, or their.
Well, straight up, I'm gonna go. Like you said, I was raised Christian. You know what I mean? So same thing. Like, all that was the devil. All that was, you don't do that. You don't touch that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when you look at the history, especially behind voodoo has a big history from the Haitians, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Voodoo come from Haitians, to where that's a very deep spiritual thing right there. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's more of an understanding than just canceling things out. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I was raised Christian, so it was like, for me, it was always a no-no. Right. So I never dabbled into it, because it's like, no, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I had went to this is a Filipino church one time, and one of the preachers was like, you don't supposed to talk to the dead. You don't supposed to go to the cemetery and talk to them. Right. You don't supposed to do that. That's a sin. That's a no-no. And everybody in the church was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. Oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like, a lot of it is based off of what people read and how they interpret it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why there was one pastor that always told me, no matter what I preach or what I say, I give you where I'm coming from. Right. So you write down those scriptures that I'm giving you, and you go read it and you find your understanding. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with that. That's what. Yeah. Because like I want to state this just for the camera. Like, my aim is never to act like I'm an expert of any fucking thing. Like, what I'm doing is starting the conversation to be had, and being vulnerable about like what I think and my own personal journey in itself. So put that there. Sanford, like, what was your experience in the question that I just asked? Like, when it comes down to Christianity and voodoo and anything else going left or right, do you feel free enough to explore spirituality in a way to where in any way that you're trapped, you have the creative explorative factor to do your own fucking thing? Like, is that something that you ever considered? Or like, do you feel like that
Like, only Jesus is the truth and the way and the light.
Why you gotta say it like that? Like,
Because
only
that's what I was
Jesus.
told.
You know what I mean? But,
Okay.
I don't know. Growing up was, I could say I didn't know who I was growing up. You know what I mean? So growing up in a church, you know, the same thing with anybody. You know, go to the church, you're taught a certain thing. You know, what's good is good, what's evil was evil. You know what I mean? As you get older, I don't know. As I got older, I just started to look inward instead of outward. You know what I mean? And that gave me a different perspective, you know, because I felt God is much deeper than what's being told to me. You know what I mean? So I guess people really decipher, like, take it in a different way, you know? So my roots are deep from those islands, you know what I mean? Like, a part of that is in my bloodline. So I don't really practice, you know, any of that, but I don't know. It's deep.
Well, not intentionally, because, you know, like Christianity, they say that, you know, you covered in the blood of Jesus. That's a ritual.
Yeah.
You know, when you recite the Lord's Prayer and, you know, a lot of the things in Christianity as far as the altar and, you know, worship and, it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so, like, you know, if artists are doing it to convert people into little minions of their artistry, and Christians are, and any other religion, because I'm sure that they use the same structure, because that's what it is. It's a structure. It's a template, you know, to create and create your own version of your reality.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, here it is. In my experience, it's like I'm observing everybody use this template. Like, here it is. I feel like I'm called to do, you know, my own thing. Do I feel free to use the template? You know, like
sure.
you know, do I feel free enough to perform rituals? Do I feel free enough to explore and like, to be honest, like, when I started my spiritual journey, when it started to get too witchy, when it started to get too...
What you mean by too witchy?
You know, crystal balls and, you know, yoga, meditation, like, you know, all those kind of things. I was like, Christianity, Jesus, wait a minute.
So...
I don't want, you know, like, I don't want to be the devil. I thought I was told that this was the devil.
They say the yoga's the devil?
Do you still mess with crystal balls and stuff?
I didn't say that I messed with crystal balls. That is not what I said. That is not what I said. Like, what, you know, you do the research, you read stuff, you know, and, like, once I started uncovering all that stuff and making the connections, where it was like, oh, you know, spirituality is, you know, this is this and that's that. You know, not necessarily forming an opinion about myself and my own life. It was more just the interest in it. You know, and, like, as I started and went through the process of, because, like, YouTube is a deep ass place. Like, you can go down a rabbit hole on anything.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so, like, that's what it was. It was just me going down a rabbit hole where it's like, damn, what's this? What's that? What's this? And like I said, when I started to get to stuff like that, it was like, wait a minute. Like, I don't know if I'm being influenced by the dark. I don't know if I'm being influenced. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Only to turn around and, like, the only thing that makes sense, this, like, bringing it back to Beyonce, because it's like, how is this bitch so fucking famous? Like, if you go back to Destiny's Child and how they started off, like, they was whack as a motherfucker. Tina should have threw everything in the trash. All of them dresses and knitting and, like she was making everything by hand, and all of it was terrible. And their tracks wasn't good neither. But for Beyonce to turn around and become this figure that she is now, like, it is startling to me, being here. Now, this is all my opinion. You know, this is all, like, you know, what I seen, where it was like, you know, I never saw and thought that she would go this far. You know, they running around, like, you know, behind, and I'm glad, so don't get me wrong, I'm glad she did, because, like, outside of her is Taylor Swift. And, like, we need a black bitch in the front somewhere, and ain't nobody else doing it on this level. Okay? So, but, like, to explain the success, it's like, You know, like, what you doing? Like, they say that you over here witching, girl. Like, is you channeling Oshun?
Do you?
Is it Jesus?
Do you think she?
You know, like, what is it? Like, what you doing, girl? Because, like, I'm doing Jesus, too.
I mean, so the question is, what makes it evil? What makes it for the good? You know what I mean?
Intention. You know, intention is everything. But, like, my intention might not be the best intention for you. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So, I don't know. All of this is just a conversation I'm having, like, you know, what y'all think? You know, because, like, all of this.
I was always scared of it, especially with the voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you take the strand of hair, you pin it to a doll, and then whatever happens,
it gets crazy.
Going to that person.
It gets crazy.
So that was afraid, but it's so funny because there was one night with me and one of my producers was talking about voodooism, and I went home and I just like went down a rabbit hole of voodooism. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it was pretty much they had like what they call them, like witch doctors or something. Mm-hmm. And what they would do is the person to be dead, but they would wake up their soul. So their body is moving. So the body is pretty much dead. It's just the soul within it, the spirit that's what's in it that's moving.
That's cold.
You know what I'm saying?
And like they be doing that in church too. Like they'll heal the person. The person can't walk. You know, they'll come to me, my child.
I mean, I don't
walk.
Okay.
Their knees go straight. You ain't never seen that before?
No. I've seen it on TV. Have I seen it in person? No.
Yeah,
okay, I've seen like somebody, you know, not be able to be walking, and this was at New Life. Okay. And like they was able to walk after. At least that's what they said. You know, and that's what we all believe. So
That's
like
deep.
I was there.
That's deep. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
But like, you know, what you laughing? Do you think it was a production or some shit?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like how the intention, you know, you said the intention, you know, it goes from healing to evil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I never dived in and never dwelled in it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what my purpose is, because like the three of us are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like the three of us are definitely going through generational trauma, generational what is that? We're trying to build generational wealth.
Yeah.
You know, and that requires us to be healed. So like if you can perform rituals to heal yourself outside of shouting in front of the damn pulpit at the church. And personally speaking, and I can look at Cameron when I say this, it wasn't enough for me.
Okay.
Okay.
It wasn't enough for you to believe that?
It was belief ain't enough. Like I live here. You know, I wake up here every day. You know what I'm saying? So like I believe, but like I also have to get up and go to work and do, and you know, and like as I'm carrying and going through all this family wahala. Okay, like belief just wasn't enough. I needed some fucking therapy.
So you went.
So like I started to go to therapy
after you seen that.
After I seen that me just jumping up and down in the altar wasn't working for me. That's just me. Like
So let me ask you.
This is my personal experience. I'm being vulnerable. It's like, you know, me jumping up in the altar, praying, going to church every Sunday. It was not working for me. I needed therapy.
Okay, so have you ever felt like you felt a spirit when you was in church?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. But like all of those things, like once it's just so much. Like and before I get off in this, and I'll explain it very quickly, what my understanding of that is, because like we all like have energy or a vibe to ourselves.
True.
And if we came and like collectively, you know, put our intention towards any direction, we will feel each other. Okay, so like that's the spirit that I will feel. I felt the prayers of the person next to me. You know, I felt the prayers of the person on the altar when she sang. You know, I felt that, you know what I'm saying? And like, I appreciate it because like, from my perspective, like that's what I know to be God. You know, not necessarily something that's outside of myself or human beings, and like I listen to people's conversation and experiences, and you know where they go and what they do, and to me, that's how I experience God, not necessarily as something that's outside of human beings or outside of objects or circumstances or hell, even animals.
So basically, you say you start to look within, and you felt like the pulpit wasn't where it was at.
That's deep. Right there. He said the pool. Wait. Say that again, boss man.
He said, did I start to look within and the pulpit wasn't where it was at?
That's deep.
I don't necessarily know.
Which part you don't know?
I think that the within search is always, you know, a thing.
I got you.
Maybe, you know, for me, maybe I thought that I was going within with church and it was working for a while. But like as I started going through the process,
Gotcha.
I noticed that I wasn't making no progress. And like I started hitting ceilings. And like, y'all know it ain't no ceilings. You know what I'm saying? So I gave myself permission to be creative in other ways. Where it was like, you know, let me go and, you know, try therapy. Let me go and try, you know, other things. And I learned a lot in that process. But like, I wasn't somebody that necessarily was, like, my roots in church didn't start when I was a child. They started when I was a teenager type thing. So like, me being around other church people,
Gotcha.
they tell me all the time that's a difference. You know, as far as like, I didn't necessarily meet God in church. That's what I mean when I say that.
Okay.
You know,
Where did you meet God at?
in my bedroom.
Okay. Like what was like what happened that day that you felt that presence?
I don't want to get off topic, but like,
okay.
what happened was,
I don't think it's off topic though.
like everything is a feeling for me. Okay, everything is a vibe for me. So like, I'm an empath. You know, I can walk into a place. I can, you know, be around people. I can, you know, eat something, and like you can feel, you know, just whatever about it. And that place and that time and that moment, I felt something that was very authoritative, very instructional, very like prophetic, like telling me, like showing me things in my dreams, showing me things in like with visions, and you know, making me feel very guilty about the path that I was walking. Okay, and like as I started to ask questions about it, it started to give me more and more dreams, and you know, so that was a whole process for like years, and I was crying, you know, to my mother, and you know, crying, and everybody thought I was fucking insane, you know, to the point where that's what drove me to the church. You know, where it was like, okay, you know, I don't understand what's going on with me, like I'm, you know, I know I'm not nuts, type shit. And then I started, you know, doing church for years, and then it was like, okay, well this ain't enough. Now I need to go and do something else, you know, so. That's my process, where it was like I gave myself permission to, you know, look elsewhere. And like I had like altars, and I was fasting and doing like, these are all things that the feeling told me to do before I went to church. I was doing all that shit before. By the time I went to Pastor Hannah's church, and you know, that corporate worship type thing and laying prostrate and like all that shit, I was doing that in my bedroom. Okay. So, you know, I took to it like a duck to water because I knew what was going on. You know, I knew what time was. It was like, okay, you know, give thanks. You know, give gratitude. Yeah, like, you know, as I see what's happening in the pop culture, and, you know, I see that people have a little bit more liberation and freedoms than, you know, I've given myself. Where it's like, of course, I'm not finna harness the harness the energy from children and have sex with them. That's nuts.
That shit
You know,
crazy.
however, like,
That's
damn,
fucked
you can
up.
do that?
That's some
That's
bullshit.
fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, that was like, damn, you can do that? Like, what the fuck? And then it's like, well, you know, when I think about my sexual history, you know, because they say that you pass energy when you have sex with people, you know, it's like, damn, like, was that what was happening when, you know, I was, you know, doing threesomes and, you know, inviting people over and, you know, like, just doing wild shit? Like, was we just siphoning off of each other's energy? Was I siphoning off theirs? Was they siphoning off mine? Like, it's just all things that I'm not necessarily aware of,
Facts.
you know. So, yeah, I got another video for y'all. Cause like we went off into the deep end.
Man,
That's
shit.
But like this video is a video from like this Egyptian etymology that I found. I think I sent it to you, Sanford.
Okay.
Where it kind of breaks down like rituals and myths in the religious sense, and I think it's very interesting. So, like, I want to play that as well. Can you cue me up?
I'm ready when you ready, boss.
I don't know why this isn't playing.
I don't know either. I'm gonna eat some Pringles while we wait on this. Right now, this is the fam show.
Hold on.
Get you some
I'm
Pringles. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna unplug this and then play it.
Our ancestors
Oh,
began
there
to
you go.
put them in the.
Oh, damn.
Love it.
And so, in
Wait a
order
minute.
to pass on the knowledge of these
Hold on.
things to
Mics real quick.
Yeah, have you ever seen that Other Darkness?
No, not me. What is it?
It's a documentary, Egyptian etymology.
Ancient Kemet.
And like, you know, the thing is, you said our mic's on.
Yeah.
Once you know what the truth is, then can't nobody lie to you type shit. So like then you can find a thread of truth in everything. So, you know, that's pretty much what happened. And that's pretty much why, you know, these things kind of interested me because it's like, oh, you know, they're all saying the same fucking thing. You know, this is not something that's new. This is something that's, you know, very much more ancient than the Jesus they told me was the truth type shit. You know, like this is, you know, before that, you know, so. Are you doing, let me know when you're ready to try
ready.
this again. I'm gonna press play. Nothing.
Yeah, no, I ain't even getting the signal.
It's not even coming through at all.
Yeah, I ain't even getting video.
Wait a minute, did this? Yeah, it might be this thing. No?
No, we see the video though. He's so nice. He looks nice. Oh my gosh.
Let me see if the other video play. No? Okay, just play it. I don't understand why it ain't playing now.
Okay, so while it's playing, go ahead and explain. Unless you gonna put some captions up there.
Okay, no, I ain't gonna play no video with no fucking words. Okay, so the basis of it is, and like of course the video explains it better than I can. But we live in a reality to where like everything is masculine. And the opposite of that was feminine. You know, back then they studied nature and all of those things, you know, in order to understand spiritual things. Nature is feminine. It's nurturing, you know. So all the rituals that they had gotten, you know, were based on like the myths of stories that they were telling themselves about nature in order to teach these things. So once the rituals were being performed and, you know, the thread of all spirituality and all religions are these rituals, basically.
Okay.
So, like, after you get the myths and after you get the, and put the rituals with the myths, then this is how everyone adopts their own religion. Like, this is how you get Travis Scott, you know, having his people. This is how you get Lil Uzi Vert having his people. This is how you get Nicki Minaj having her barbs. This is how you get a beehive. This is how you get, because like once you take the infrastructure of the rituals with who the person presents themselves as, which is the myth, then you are able to develop a culture and a environment around that, which can be the religion. So me saying it is way less fucking interesting than way less fucking interesting than the video being played. But like, you know, check out Out of Darkness
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Heavy is the Crown.
So both y'all watched it. So you watched it too before Sanford.
Yeah, I watched it.
And what did you
I
get
think
out of it?
Sanford is the one that sent it to me.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
So tell us your point of view of this.
My
Sanford.
point of view was a lot of stuff that was deemed not true, that was evil, you know, just history, just us knowing from where we came from, you know, just our history, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff that is held out of the history books and stuff like that, you know. It's that, you know, the way from back then until now. Dealing from all points, religion, psychological, you know, everything. It's just dealing with all the aspects of why we are where we are right now as a people, you know. And
why do you feel somebody would, you know, growing up in the school, we shorties, and they teaching us this, why do you feel like it was in their best interest to tell us that instead of the truth?
Because we gifted. And like we will take this motherfucker over. You know, once we come back to like who we are. And like that's a whole other conversation. Like it's very like me uncovering everything. Like it's a very good reason why Black people have all these blickies pointing at them. Okay? All these obstacles to jump over. All these challenges against them. Like, it has to be like that. Otherwise, like, you couldn't necessarily keep away what's naturally ours. Like, we would just attract it. It just would just come in your direction. Like, you have to, like, strategically make sure that this person don't eat. You know, otherwise, like, just the nature of who they are is going to attract it. So, like, everything is designed to, you know, confuse you. I think I said in the video, I said, you know, like everything was designed to, like, render me, myself, Marquez Hayes, insecure about who I was. So I couldn't be who I'm meant to be, type shit. You know, and, like, all the way down to the basis of my family dynamic. You know, it's so much goddamn shame and guilt attached to my personal trauma. You guilty for being who you are. You're shamed for, you know, not having this. You're shamed for, you know, being this way. You're guilty for, like, it's ridiculous how deep this thread goes. Not just from me, but my siblings, my nieces, my mother, my dad, their parents. Like, the karmic debt is what Marquez Hayes is fighting. Okay? Of all the things that they did not know and weren't able to accomplish because of all these fucking blickies pointing at you, you know? And, like, choosing to be ignorant and go with the doctrine of what your original question was. Why? Excuse me. Why are they choosing to tell lies versus the truth?
Yeah. Why?
It's not necessarily a lie when you're choosing to be ignorant to it. Because you can't lie to a person. Like, I could tell you all day long, you know, what something is. And then here it is, you feel in your stomach and your body what's true. You know, which is why a person can't necessarily lie to you. You know, but like me, as far as Marquez Hayes is concerned, you know, it took me to get to a place to where it was like, I'm not finna explain no more why I know what I know. Like, you stand in front of motherfuckers and they be lying through their teeth and they expect you to explain the inner workings of their lies. And ain't nobody finna got time for that shit. Like, I know who you are, I seen you coming, and I ain't gotta explain that shit. Because, like, something in me works. And, like, I lived my life a long time where it was like, I'm gonna be ignorant to the shit you do because I don't believe in me. I'm gonna be ignorant to, you know, the way that you harm me, or I'll believe what you say and ignore the shit you doing because I don't believe in me. It's like, I know what I know, and, like, I'm grown and I ain't explaining that shit no more. Like, you know who I am. You know what I've been. And when I walked away, you felt that. Like, you feel me when I'm coming. So, like, all of these conversations that, you know, like, I'm not finna have this shit no more. You know, with people, you know, and explain, you know, my value, and explain, like, all of that is attached to shame and guilt. And, like, that's what the fucking therapy was about. You know, that was the obstacle. That was the ceiling. Where it was like, you know, no matter how many hallelujahs that, you know, I was given, you know, no matter how many run around motherfucking churches that I was running, you know, I couldn't outrun the shame and the guilt of the generational trauma that was passed down from grandparents to parents to, you know, like, It gets crazy, the type of karmatic debt when it comes down to Marquez Hayes is concerned. Okay? And like once I started to, learn and, figure out who was who around that motherfucker, like it's strategic why you don't know, your people. It's strategic why you don't know they true walk and what they ran into and what they did. And, like once you start to learn that shit, you get it. You understand. It's like, this is why, I'm literally dodging and flogging all these, like I said, everything for me is like feeling, so my depressions be heavy. And I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? So, when I can't create, something wrong with me. So like I was going through learning that. Like I didn't always know that my ability to be creative, my ability to do what it is that I do and create a thing from beginning to end was connected to my spiritual well-being. And not until I started doing hair on the regular and my livelihood was connected to my ability to create was the amount of monitoring that I gave, to that shit. Where it was like, wait a minute, I don't feel well. I have to make money today, though. So I have to feel well. So I got to figure out what the fuck going on around here. You know what I'm saying? And like, I got to be aggressive, in remedying it because like I got to be there in 15 minutes. So that process, is what like put a big highlight on it for me. And let me know why it was important. What your question was like, these motherfuckers lying because of this right here. I can look at my life and I know people, motherfuckers, y'all know, everybody on this, on that come across this video, y'all in this room, y'all know what you're capable of.
But
you feel it in your body. You felt it since you was a child type shit. But like, it really boils down to, are you going to explain it or are you just going to be it?
that's deep.
And the show will prove.
Are you going to try to, have an approval of the shit? Mm-hmm. Or are you just going to be it? Like, well, I'm not explaining that shit no more. My success can't be quantified type shit.
Sure.
Where it's like, I don't, these things don't validate me. Wholeness validates me. Knowing validates me. Getting to the next step, the next assignment, finishing and completing the thing, that validates me.
Not all comes back to intention, should we say. To have the intention.
I had to flip the script because my intention was, going out to everybody else. It wasn't like to me.
Getting validation from everybody else.
Or trying to get their approval.
Gotcha.
That's where the explanations and all that shit was coming from.
Gotcha.
Where it was, like me. Love me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, you feel me? Yeah. Because this is your question.
Yeah, shit, I got tons more.
This is your question. Yeah, but like, that's why this particular clip, like, kind of started and sparked this conversation to me because, like, I always wanted to have these kind of conversations, but I didn't, I couldn't necessarily find the connective factor to something interesting enough and provocative enough to spark the interest of others, because it just sounds too deep. If I talk about Diddy and the things that, are going on right now and what, he doing, all this, like, salacious sex shit that's going on, with him, and probably, the salacious sex shit that goes on with me, that's how a lot of y'all found me. like listening to my stories on my videos, and that's how we connected. But like behind that, it's like when I heard that you're able to harness energy through the shit, it's like, wait a minute now.
That's
Like,
good.
okay, so sex is a ritual.
That's fucked up though.
You know.
I mean, especially when you're dealing with the kids and shit. That shit is like sick.
And specifically
especially when
male
you bring
children.
them-
Now, I didn't even get into that.
That's wild.
Specifically male children.
Who made this rule?
You said who made this what?
Who made who developed this? Who said this is what this does when you do this?
Nature. Nature. This is what we all are missing. We missing the feminine energy. And like it's funny because like black men, we are so confused right now. Because like everything has been sexualized for us. So when you mention feminine energy and the importance of it, you automatically think of sex and gay and, your sexuality and shit like that. It don't have shit to do with that. But everything to do with your ability to process emotions, be vulnerable, and care for a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. It's a yin and a yang. It's balance. You know what I mean? And, I guess my question is the divine divinity. You know what I mean? The feminine divinity, I should say. Can you touch more on that? Like, like what do you mean? Like as far as that, like within the male society, within males and how we perceive
How divine divinity?
Yeah.
What do you mean like divine divinity?
I mean not divine. Am I saying it right?
Divine feminine?
Yeah, the divine feminine. Yeah.
And how that has to do with males? Touch on more on that?
Yeah.
Basically what I was just saying, like, the ability to process emotions, the ability to take care of things, the ability to love, the ability to so like we have been groomed to react and take things by force. I really wish we could have watched this etymology video because they talk about it. But like our strength, our size, our presence, the music that we listen to, the culture, everything is about overtaking, being the biggest, the baddest, or whatever. Okay, so the problem with that is that you can't channel two things at once. And like the problem with that, and like what I'm bringing up in this conversation, where it's like, damn, did y'all notice we can channel things? Are we aware that we are channeling things? Are you aware that a person can channel a thing and it affect you personally?
Yes.
So like just asking these questions and relating them to us as black men, because all three of us are black men. It's like, when you live your life on a day-to-day basis, that decision that comes down in between, you running away or overtaking a thing or being filled with ego. Are you able to relinquish that and make another decision?
Gotcha.
Or and not necessarily able, are you aware? Type shit where it's like, you know what? I could go upside your motherfucking head for this shit. Or I could come and get loud and dominate you. You see how dude was acting with that Carlisha Hood situation? Carlisha Hood, whose son shot the guy in the store at the Maxwell Polish place.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like his demeanor, the way that he was acting, like he was at a 10, and you could tell that, like that's the way he was. Like it didn't take much to get him to a 10, and it was like I could tell that he did not know that life didn't require to be at the level ever.
Gotcha.
Type shit. Where it's like if I'm shouting and I'm ready to smack a person in the motherfucking face.
Gotcha.
Okay, first of all, that's damaging my own presence and the way that I feel. Yeah. But also, like, it's damaging, you know, the environment itself. And like, are you aware that that's not the way that you have to solve things? Are you aware that you are able to channel something different? You know, you get into it, you know, with your baby mama or like her side piece or like whatever the fuck be going on in these, you know, places. Gotcha. You know, in relationships with people. You know, where people, it's all kind of like literature online. People like be killing, you know, they mates and shit. It's like in them moments, are you aware that you don't have to go to a 10?
So you saying basically we should
not
people as a
like it's not necessarily calm the fuck down. It's are you aware that you can?
So is it like you basically saying that we should channel one side, either masculine or feminine, and that basically decides our karmic situation?
I'm not saying nothing in regards to anybody else. I'm saying
I'm just saying like in general. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I'm saying when it comes down to me.
Gotcha.
My healing process as a black man is finding the divine feminine and how to use it to heal myself, whether it be through understanding my own emotions, whether it be understanding my own power. Oh, this is a big one. Ooh, understanding my own fucking power. I am the sun. Okay? Not necessarily the S-O-N. I'm talking about the S-U-N.
Gotcha.
I can give rays. I can make things grow. Or I can scorch this motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like understanding my power. Gotcha. Where it's like, you really don't want to fuck up the environment, do you? Make it grow. You know, understand your power and don't go to a 10 all the damn time.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally understand.
Like, here it is. Understand the relationships that you have. And, you know, understand that at any point I can end the relationship because I am the sun. Or at any point I can get closer to a person because I am the sun. I can nurture. I can connect. I can, you know what I'm saying? So like once you understand that you have this creative ability to make things grow, you being creative is not a problem. You having, you know, myself having the ability to turn a thing into another thing. Once I, you know, began to do it over and over and over again,
gotcha.
You know, then my confidence in who I am and what I'm capable of, like I said, that's what validates me. Not necessarily people seeing that shit or me being rewarded for it.
Gotcha.
You know, because a lot of times that shit come without no reward. A lot of times, you know, these things happen, the things I'm talking about, and don't nobody see that shit.
Gotcha.
You know, so yeah, like my walk as a male is very much, and not just a male, but a creative male, prophetic male, a male that is connected to his own power, source energy, XY. Like I'm accountable in so many fucking ways, not just to my environment that I create, but like to the Most High God.
So you just walking in your true power.
In truth, where it's like, you know, you constantly finding out what the truth. I'm constantly finding out what the truth is for me. Yeah. You know, where it's like, you know, who am I today?
Who are you today?
I am super D motherfucking duper.
Then who are you gonna be tomorrow?
That's to be defined, you know.
That's to be divine when you wake
No,
up.
no,
tomorrow.
not divine, defined.
That's what I said. It's,
You know, like see that's the point of this conversation. Like, you know, I'm not sure if people, and like that's what I want to ask people. Like I'm asking everybody that you know is watching this video. It's like, damn, do you give yourself the freedom to express yourself beyond the realms of what's considered the devil or what's considered God? Like, do you feel like that the Most High God is mad at you if you make a decision and find out something? Like, here it is. I just said that I'm accountable to my environment, yes, but I'm also accountable to the Most High God. You know, I don't feel like God can ever be upset with me.
why?
Because he called me in the first place.
I was about to be like, he got your number.
I'm talking about what I just explained. I said, I met the nigga in my bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, either it was him or like what was somebody that was he sent. But all in all, it was like this ain't me in here.
Do you feel like your connection with God got better from that time, or you felt like you figured out something else?
What I figured out was that better. It ain't no such thing. Like this is something that was always was, and like once I decided to put my attention on it, then there it was. To be acknowledged. But like, what made me not want to put my attention on it was the shame, the guilt that I was brought up in, and also the fear that comes along with those things, where it's like, I don't want to necessarily be evil. And all of those things are blockages when it comes down for me being, authentic and being myself.
Yeah, I think that's what.
Without any the key is like without any outside influences. That shit is challenging.
It's rough.
Okay, because like you could be around a person and then all of a sudden you saying the shit they saying, you moving how they move, and you like without being influenced, and being you. That's the challenge. So, how many minutes we at this live?
We got an hour 30.
An hour 30. Okay, so we're gonna end it right here, y'all. I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to play this video. But I feel like that we got some good shit. I feel like that it was very thought-provoking. And like the conversation is gonna continue because like this conversation is really just bounced and piggybacked off of the last conversation that we had from the last live. So I'm seeing that this is gonna be a thing, and like I'm always gonna be exploring like creativity, the freedom thereof, spirituality. This is what these Sundays is about. Exploring, relationships and opinions and what people think, and like shit we all can get connected and find God together type shit.
Facts. While I order some food.
While you order some food.
Well,
But that's the thing, cause like that's a ritual, okay? So like Erica brought up yesterday, and like this is real quick. Erica brought up yesterday that how women say how they say in the black culture, they say don't ever eat a woman's spaghetti. It's supposed to be like voodoo or something like that, or like some hoodoo something. It's something.
Oh yeah, when you first meet a woman,
when you first meet a woman, don't eat her spaghetti.
If you make the woman mad or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, food is very much that. It's very much a ritual. So like, food for thought. Okay.
food for thought. If you meet a female, don't eat her spaghetti on the first date.
That's what they say. Yeah, I don't know whether it's true or not. Well, you know what? I do know what it's. I do know whether it's true.
Have you ever ate a female spaghetti and felt different? My homie told me that. May he rest in peace. My homie told me that.
Lord, I hope it wasn't from the damn spaghetti. I hope it wasn't from the spaghetti.
Like, damn,
No,
man.
it wasn't.
Okay. You said that all in the same breath.
Okay.
Nah, man, he rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
Y'all finna have my feelings, my emotions come out on it. Man, let's cut this motherfucker.
Look,
We out.
period. We